What's up, YouTube? SimplyUnlucky here, and it's time for the order of the Spellcasters Structure Deck opening and review. And then we're going to ask you guys to check out the channel and subscribe for more epic Yu-Gi-Oh videos. Alright, you guys, this is another amazing Structure Deck from Konami right after Soul Burner. Soul Burner having Ash Blossom and the almighty Salamangreat cards. We now have a Droll and Lockbird hand trap along with the Spellcaster, spell counter cards as well, you guys. And you know, I'm not the biggest fan of pendulum cards, but to see, if any cards were to be pendulum, by the way, I would expect it to be spell counter or spellcaster cards because it's like spell, magic, I don't know. But yeah, you guys, so very excited for this structure deck too because Spellcaster's Command was one of my more favorite structure decks for a while there. I think it's Spellcaster's Command, one of the last structure decks from Spellcasters to come out, and so it's very exciting to see another one of these, and again a nice green box, so that looks sweet. But not only that, you guys, the structure deck itself is pretty good. The cards inside, people are thinking, you know, this could be a decent higher tier deck to play with in tournaments. And so if we check out the back here, it says, the magical masters of structure deck order of the Spellcasters have transcended the need for physical forms and gained the ability to become the spells themselves. As pendulum monsters, that's exactly what I was talking about. They're magical monsters and they become spells. They can be played as either monsters or spell cards and have different abilities depending on which you choose. The structure deck includes 37 common cards, 3 super rare cards, 2 ultra rare cards, 1 beginner's guide, and 1 double-sided playmat for dueling with tips to execute the perfect strategy. So it's interesting though, because initially when pendulums come out, I know Konami likes to do the whole special summon technique or a new summoning technique when the whole new generation comes out. But if you guys actually sat back and thought about it, if pendulums just were magic slash trap or magic monsters, and that's all they were, it's just cards you could either play as a magic or a monster, I think that would have just been pretty cool by itself. And I think overall pendulums just would have been way more awesome. And it definitely would have made sense for cards like Spellcasters. And so just a thought there instead of having a whole summoning mechanic. But yeah, you guys, let's get started. Let's pop it open. This is going to be a little bit of a longer video because we're going to actually read some of the different cards inside. Also, if you guys are interested in picking up this structure deck, we do have it over on SimplyUnlucky.com. The singles will also be on there. If you guys are international, you know, it's a good place to find the singles. Also, eBay and TCG Player maybe. That's more of the place we go to after SimplyUnlucky.com and eBay if we still have more cards. But yeah, you guys go check them out. Also, we're using the Golden Duelist supplies here from Konami. We have those on the markets, SimplyUnlucky.com and whatnot, and the new Duelist portfolio chilling somewhere. But yeah, let's get straight into this, you guys. We're going to go over the foils last. It just takes a minute to read those cards, and I kind of want to go through those. Alright, so let's pop open this bad boy here. Yeah, we'll go through the foils last. And just so you guys can see some of those pictures, we'll go through the effects. And it's funny because Endymion, I've always actually surprisingly said his name. I feel like it's the correct way to say it. But I've always thought of like Digimon. Endymion. But yes, Endymion, the mighty master of magic. So awesome. He's got pretty much, this is like an evolution to the other form that he has in Konami. Reflection of Endymion. So kind of a dude that's like him, took a different path. Or him taking a different path type deal. Spell Power Mastery, a card that deals directly with, I think it's actually in the text. I wanted to read these after though. Spell Power Grasp. It also looks very similar to Spell Power Grasp, which is a picture of regular Endymion. I believe it's in the structure deck as well, so we'll be able to see it. But yes, so very cool effect there. A new card that helps with Spellcaster. We can read this real quick. Target one Spellcaster effect monster in your grave, so it does have to be an effect monster. Add it to your hand. Activate this once per turn. Consistent card. You know, you probably end up playing one of these in your Spellcaster deck no matter what you're doing. So very cool. And I do like the picture too. You got some cool little, I think of that spellbook peoples. And then one of the other ultra rares. Interesting how the ultra rare was 5 cards down compared to the other ultra. But I guess this is more spells and monsters or monster spells. We have Daybreaker, the Shining Magical Warrior. So this is kind of like Breaker the Magical Warrior, but an evolution. Again, for him, or an evolved form. And so that guy is very cool. Again, we'll check out the effects towards the end of the video. This is Magister of Endymion, Servant of Endymion, and then Endymion the Master Magician. So it changed from Endymion the Master Magician to Endymion the Mighty Master of Magic. Digimon. Crusader of Endymion. So cards we've already seen though. Defender of the Magical Knight. Mythical Beast Cerberus, the first more Cerberus-themed card for spell counters. Mythical Beast Medusa, and so this is interesting because Expo, kind of one of the lower tier sets for a cool minute, you guys. You know, I think there's lots of boxes kind of left over, and now they're slowly being circulated, and everyone's kind of opening up their Expo boxes because they had such a big presence of the Mythical Beast spell counter cards inside, and now the boxes have actually shot up in value. Also, the Rocket cards in there too, and I think a Rocket structure deck is coming out next. Magical something. What was it? It was a magical something. A magical exemplar, magical abductor, disenchanter, apprentice magician. I always like seeing apprentice magician. The classic normal summon this guy, get a spell counter on one of your cards. You know, summon breaker, break something, and then boom, summon apprentice magician, give it another spell counter. Very cool. Dark Magician of Chaos. In here as a common. You guys want to check out his effect for all those classic players. They have errated him, I believe. During the end phase. There it goes. Right, already. During the end phase, if this card was normal or special summoned, target a spell in your grave. Add it to your hand. You can only use the effect of Dark Magician Chaos once per turn. And if this card destroys a monster opponent by battle, damage can banish that monster. If this face-up card would leave the field banished instead. So, yeah, I believe that's 2 changes. It's during the end phase instead of right when it was normal or special summon, which kind of doesn't matter now for all the timing stuff you had to worry about as well. And then you target one spell in your grave, add it to your hand. You can only use that effect once per turn. So it used to be, I feel like you could have used this multiple times, and it happened right when he was summoned, before when he was banned. The whole combo with pay 2,000 life points, different dimension fusion. Is that it? But yeah, 2,000 life points, summon all your removed monsters. Crazy shenanigans back in the day. Fairy Tail Luna. I just kind of want to set him to the side. I mean, that's freaking Dark Magician of Chaos, you guys. Honestly, I want to give him a sleeve. Super rare would have been cool. I don't think there's too many printings of him super rare. Summer Monk, Spellbook, Magician of Prophecy as a common. Actually pretty sweet. Magical Undertaker, Magician of Faith. Droll and Lockbird. There it is, you guys. So that is actually very nice. Giving an automatic value to the structure deck itself. I know we're doing this, I believe, on a Friday. The video will probably get to you guys on a Saturday. But the Friday of release week, and so this card's value has probably already gone down a little bit. I believe it started at $6 for kind of the pre-release of it and for the first couple days, but it's probably at least going to retain a $4 to $5 mark. The Droll and Lockbird. And you guys, these structure decks, you know, if you're finding a decent price, are going to be around $10. So already half your value back in some situations. And you never know, trade value could be worth even more. The thing I've always liked about Droll and Lockbird is it has the different colors going on here. Contrast. You have a really light going on here, and then a really like dark moon or something going on there. So just different colors. Very cool picture, I've always thought. All right, you guys, that's the monsters. And I believe in Endymion's Lab, is this a new card? I believe so. So we'll check that one out. Magical Citadel of Endymion came with the last structure deck. I'm just going to keep saying Spellcaster Command to stay confident with that. But yes, very cool to see a reprint of this. This was actually printed as a super rare, or was it secret? Secret maybe in DASA, Dark Saviors. So I remember when we got a few cases of Dark Saviors, we put them up on eBay. This card sold out in like 2 days, secret rare. So people wanted their higher rarity of this card for sure. Same with Spell Power Graphs. Now that it's got some support with the Spell Power Mastery, people are actually interested. Super rare in DASA as well. So very cool to see Spell Power Graphs. And you guys want to compare pictures real quick, that is the similarities there. Endymion in his normal form, and Endymion in his evolved form. Digimon. Endymion. Very cool. And of course you see the spell counter, is that what it is? Kind of has that art to it. Arcane Barrier. Interesting card. Spellbook of Secrets as a common, you guys. So very interesting. Very exciting, but very interesting. Spellbook of Power, that ultimate rare card, beautiful. Actually, both of those come ultimate rare. Spellbook of Wisdom, gotta love the spellbooks. Magical Blast, I believe this was originally printed also in Spellcaster's Command. Magical Dimension. Terraforming, it's always nice to see Terraforming in a structure deck because it's going to always retain value. Terraforming is a good card and will always be. Left Arm Offering, another reprint to see, and a very interesting one at that. It will hold its value for a while here. If you have 2 or more other cards in your hand, banish your entire hand. Add 1 spell from your deck to your hand. You cannot set spell/traps during the turn you activate this card. Okay, so making sure you don't just get rid of your whole hand. But still, a very interesting card, you guys. Definitely some wombo combos. The ability for that. And a Pot of Desires as a common. And you know what's funny? I mentioned this in a video a while back, but if you see like Pot of Greed was a do. I always wanted to make a video for Pot of Greed, but then some of these other YouTubers have, so I was like, all right, well. But like, what does it do? What does it actually do? I've always wanted to think like, well, a common Pot of Greed draws you 1 card. A rare Pot of Greed draws you 2 cards. Super rare, 3 cards. Ultimate rare, 4 cards. But, you know, that was always a thought because I believe that's the 4 different rarities of Pot of Greed. But now, so Pot of Desires originally coming like a secret rare, and it's banish 10 cards, you know, draw 2 for that secret rare version. And then they came out, I believe, with like an ultra or something. But I feel like this common version should be like banish 10 cards, draw 1 card because it's a common Pot of Desire. Anyway. Just a long thought process I thought I'd tell you guys. Mythical Bestia Morph. I don't know if I've seen that card before, but cool. Pitch Black Power Stone. So that's the Power Stone you see as considered as like a spell counter. Extra Buck. Gaga Shield. And Magician's Circle. And let's play some frickin' Duel Links because 6 Samurais, I guess, are broken beyond broken on there. I feel like they just kind of helped nerfed them a bit. Anyways, you guys, so now that we've reviewed and all the other cards in the deck, let's go ahead and check out the individual new cards in the order of the Spellcasters. I don't want to say Spellcasters command. But again, you guys, very awesome picture. I love the green. I love Endymion. And so let's go ahead and start with some of the common cards here. We check out a Dimmered Path already. That was get the effect spellcaster monster back from your grave out into the hand. Once per turn. Endymion's Lab, though, if this card's name becomes a Magical Citadel of Endymion while in the spell and trap card zone, each time a spell card is activated, place a spell counter on this card. When that spell resolves, once per turn after damage cal, if your spellcaster monster is destroyed by battle, you can remove 6 spell counters from your field, special summon 1 level 7 or higher spellcaster monster from your hand or deck. Only activate 1 per turn. So it brings out Endymion himself, but it's got a lot of shenanigans going on in order to pull it off. But the thing is, with 6 spell counters, it's actually a bit easier than you guys would think with this deck. And this card gets, while it's in the spell, yeah. Place a spell counter on this card each time a spell resolves. And again, you guys, we got to remember, it's yours or your opponent's for these spell cards. So Endymion's a Lab. Just another way of getting lots of spell counters. Maybe you'll use it, maybe you won't. And so let's check out, let's go with Spell Power Mastery. It's just a very, very cool looking card here. All right, it says here, I can get a freeze there. Add 1 Endymion card from your deck to your hand. Is it really that good? Then you can count the number of Spell Power Mastery and Spell Power Grasp you control or have in your grave. Place that many spell counters among cards you control, and then place a spell counter, on them, I guess. You can activate 1 Spell Power Mastery per turn. What? That's insane. Add an Endymion card. Well, I thought it would search for another Spell Power Mastery. An Endymion card, you guys. There's all these Endymion cards. Endymion. Wow. And then place spell counters on cards that can have spell counters. Whoa. That's insane. Wow. All right. Let's check out the Servants. It's going to be tough reading these, guys. It's a bit of work here, but let's go ahead and do it. So Pendulum Effect. Each time spell card is activated, place 1 spell counter on this card. When the spell resolves, you can remove 3 spell counters from this card. Special summon both this card from your Pendulum Zone and 1 monster from your deck with 1,000 or more attack that you can place a spell counter on. If you do, place 1 spell counter on each. Wow. Wow. That is good. Remove 3 in order to do that shenanigans? Holy crap. Alright, as a monster, it has an effect too. Jeez, man, these cards are crazy. You can only special summon Servants of Endymion once per turn. This card with a spell counter on it can attack directly once per opponent's turn. Quick effect, discard 1 card, place a spell counter on each card you can control that can have a spell counter. If this card in the monster zone is destroyed, you can place this card in your Pendulum Zone, then place the same number of spell counters on it that it had on another monster. That's crazy. Okay. Magister of Endymion. Sorry, a little hot over here right now, guys. Magister of Endymion. Each time spell card is activated, place spell counter on this card. When the spell resolves, remove 3. When it resolves. And then you can remove 3. Special summon this card from the Pendulum Zone. And then summon 1 monster from your deck that you can place a spell counter on it. really. So this one, special summon one monster from your deck that can place a spell counter on it. If this card, Pendulum Zone, is destroyed, you can place this card. And the monster zone is destroyed, you can place this card in your Pendulum Zone, then place the same number of spell counters on it that it has. Jesus, man. So they die, destroy, if it's destroyed as a monster with spell counters, it goes back to the Pendulum Zone with spell counters. The same amount it had on it. And then you can special summon it back, but only once per turn. These cards seem insane. And then you can special summon another monster from your deck. That's, whoa. And that's the 8 and that's the 2. Okay. And then here's the 2 and the 8 for these guys. Let's do my best here to give you guys a freeze frame on it. Alright, Reflection. Each time a spell card is activated, place a spell counter after that spell resolves. Remove 3 spells. Special summon both this card from your Pendulum Zone and one monster from your hand that you can place a spell counter on. And if you do, place one spell counter on each. So all these guys basically have summoning mechanics from the Pendulum Zone to the field, special summoning monsters. So are you actually going to end up doing too much pendulum summoning with this deck? And are these cards going to just be kind of what I was talking about in the first place, with just being spell monsters and just having cool effects that bring them spell mastery? You can only special summon one Reflection guy per turn. If this card is special summoned, you can target one card your opponent controls and one card you control with a spell counter, except this card. Return the opponent's card and this card to your hand, and your card to your hand. Place the same number of spell counters on the card that you returned, that the return card had. When this card with a spell counter is destroyed, add one Endymion card from your deck to your hand. Jeez. These cards are insane, man. Alright, here we go. The Mighty Master of Magic! Alright. KAIBA! You can remove 6 spell counters from your field. Special summon this card from the Pendulum Zone. Then count the number of cards you control that can have spell counters. Destroy up to that many cards on the field. And if you do, place spell counters on this card equal to the number of cards you destroyed. Booyah! Alright, as a monster. Once per turn, when a spell/trap is activated, or effect is activated, quick effect, you can return one card you control with a spell counter to the hand. If you do, negate the activation and destroy it. What? Then you can place the same number of spell counters on this card that card had on it that you return to the hand. Wow! When this card is... Okay, here we go. When this card has a spell counter and your opponent cannot target it with card effects. Also cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Whoa! When this card with a spell counter is destroyed by battle, add one normal spell from your deck to your hand. Jesus, how much freaking writing did they put on that guy? So just trying to remember all of what I just said. Basically, special summon it by removing spell counters, destroy things on the field, and then get more spell counters based on the things you destroyed. Because booyah, once it's on the field, it can't be targeted by effects, can't be destroyed by effects. And so, like one of those Mirror Force cards, basically, mass Mirror Force cards that return to the deck or bounce or something, is the only way to really get rid of them. And then if he is actually destroyed by battle after all of that, you get a normal spell from your deck, which could just be a spell power mastery to bring him back from the Pendulum Zone to do crazy shenanigans anyways. Jesus, and I missed one, right? Yeah, it has another effect. Quick effect. Return one card that you control with spell counters on it to your hand to negate the activation of a trap, spell, or monster effect. Or effect. And then add spell counters that card that you return that spell counters onto him to equal the same amount. What? You guys, this is insanity incarnate. Jesus, man, if these cards were released back in the day, I don't even know what to say. Released back in the day, I don't even know what to say. Got rhymes, baby. Alright, here we go. Daybreaker, the Shining Magical Man. Link, and it's a Link 2, 1600 attack. Kind of sad, but I'm guessing it gains attack, so let's check it out. If this card is Link summoned, okay, place one spell counter on it. It gains 300 attack for each spell counter on it. And it does not have a max, so that's nice. You can only activate each of the following effects of Daybreaker, the Shining Magical Warrior, once per turn. So it doesn't have a max of the spell counters it has, but you can only activate each of the following effects once per turn. So it's going to have both effects, though. If a spellcaster monster is special summoned to a zone that this card points to, place a spell counter on this card. So you can only activate that once per turn. Okay. So this guy can actually get pretty big. So like if you use spell counter mastery, some shenanigans, isn't there a way to like just transfer over spell counters? But anyways, this guy gets big. If you can remove 2 spell counters from this card to target one card on the field and destroy it. That is not a quick effect. So it's kind of like Breaker, but not really. But being able to destroy a card on the field is pretty sweet. Breaker was only a magic or trap. And maximum 1 spell counter on Breaker. So this guy has no maximum, but you can only use these effects once per turn. Pretty cool. I mean, it's a Link 2 spellcaster. And the only issue is it takes 2 spell counters to make them. Spellcasters. Too many spell cards, man, in this deck. Alright, you guys. So post in the comments below, really, what do you guys think about this? Because this, honestly, I know I haven't had enough time. I guess the best thing to say would be, by the way, you guys, thank you for supporting SimplyUnlucky through purchasing on SimplyUnlucky.com, eBay, what else do we got? TCG Player, also moving to Amazon soon. We had an average of 400 orders a day for a cool minute there, you guys. Absolutely insanity. There was a bit, I had to go to the hospital for a little bit. Hernia, if you guys know what that is. It's not very fun. So I'm getting that figured out. But yeah, so apologies. Some orders might have been delayed, but overall, we tried a new shipping system and some were delayed specifically because of that. So apologies for any delayed orders we had. But yeah, you guys, thank you so much for supporting SimplyUnlucky. And honestly, it's crazy because directly supporting SimplyUnlucky online has helped us kind of reach a new, I guess, level of really bringing the card shop into existence. And we're honestly like 2 months away at the very most. Yeah. So like, I want to tell you guys, hey, card shop in 2 months, but like seriously, card shop in 2 months for sure at the latest. I'm feeling like. The only reason it wouldn't be done in 2 months is because we're trying to do some extra work and work directly with Konami on doing some of the stuff for the card shop. And yeah, so hopefully you guys are excited for that. But yeah, post in the comments below, you guys. What do you guys think about this Order the Spellcaster structure deck? And let us know kind of what you think. And if you guys think that this will be a top tier deck. Honestly, it seems insane. It seriously does. And even if you're not going to use this like direct Endymion deck, I feel like there's a lot of cards in here that really help some of those spell combo decks that are already out. So just, it's kind of insane. I feel like we're a little insane. Like that's the Magical Library deck. Imagine Magical Library with Spell Power Mastery. You know, like that seems insane too. I think Magical Library Exodia, right? Just draw out your deck. Or it was like Magical Library with all the spells and the 3 traps. I think they had to actually limit the trap, right? It's deal 100 damage for each trap in your grave, and so you get 30, or each spell in your grave, just deal 9,000 damage with 3 of them or whatever. Crazy cards. Anyways, so combo decks I feel like are buffed from this. This deck itself is pretty freaking awesome. So yeah, again, let us know in the comments below what you guys think. Again, we have all these cards available and the structure deck itself available on SimplyUnlucky.com along with the markets, eBay, TCG Player. And so again, thank you guys for checking those out. Thank you guys for supporting SimplyUnlucky. Again, sorry I haven't been able to make a video. That was mostly because of the hospital. But yeah, you guys, more videos coming up. Again, it's a bit difficult kind of just learning how to schedule everything. Everything's kind of blowing up at once, and so we're just slowly taking our time figuring it out. But I can't thank you guys again enough for the support, and please continue to watch videos, and look forward to the shop, you guys. Couldn't have done it without you guys. And Patreon rewards being updated. I know some of you patrons out there are kind of like, man, what's going to happen with Patreon? But really, we're going to definitely incorporate it with not only the YouTube, but the markets. And it's going to be awesome. It's going to be epic. So be ready for that. And Simply Unlucky signing out.